Hi there and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Robbins, and in today's video we look at setting up an AWS EC2 instance. These are the key takeaways in today's video. We'll be setting up an AWS EC2 instance, then we'll set up a virtual environment which will be running Ubuntu. Then we will SSH into the virtual environment from our local machine. Later on we'll install Docker and run it. Section 1, AWS EC2 Instance. So head over to your AWS EC2 console, not rather EC2 console but AWS Management Console. Log in if you have an account, log in as the root user, key in your password and sign in. Once the sign-in is successful, wait for the dashboard to populate, then click on the services. As you can see, AWS has various services that it offers, but today we focus on EC2. So click on EC2, wait for it to load. This is the dashboard that presents you with all the services that are running in EC2. So click on the instances to check for the running instances. You can launch an instance from here or go back and create a new instance from the dashboard. So give your instance a name. For my case, I will give it Docker setup. Then on the next section we look at setting up Ubuntu. So select the operating system, which is Ubuntu. The latest version is 22.04 LTS. LTS stands for long-term support, so I leave that as the default. Then you have to select your architecture, select 64-bit, then here I will leave it as the default. Generate the pair, so pay attention to this. This is the key that we will use to SSH into our machine. If you are running on Linux or macOS, download the PEM, and if you are running on Windows, download the PPK which you use to SSH with boot. Then allocate storage size to your machine. In my case, I will allocate it 30 gigs, that is enough. Then I will leave defaults. Then there are various settings that you can set up in AWS. For example, if you had created IAM roles, you can come and click on advanced details, then specify them here, as well as change the hostname type. So for now I do not have any IAM, so I'll just change the hostname type to resource name. Then I will leave all the others as default. You can see there are various settings that you can change, but I will leave those as default. Once that is done, I will click on launch instance to deploy the instance. Then we will wait for it to deploy. Once that is done, click on details, then on logs. The checks should be all green if it was successful. Now click on the instance ID and you'll be presented with a dashboard that shows you that your instance is running. Let me clear this filter for us to see all the instances that are running. As you can see, one is terminated and one is running. So this is what we have deployed as per now. So let's head over to the next section, which is SSH. Now previously, remember the file we had downloaded, so head over to that directory. My file was docker.pem. Then type in the SSH command, give it the path to the file, then the name of the machine is Ubuntu, then the host name is provided for you on the AWS EC2 instance dashboard. Copy the public IPv4 DNS address and paste it here, and then press enter. Here type yes to allow fingerprints. Once that is done, you have successfully SSH'd into your machine. Now you can confirm if it's indeed the instance that you set up by running cat etc os release, and as you can see it's Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. The next step, we set up Docker. I'll provide the documentation below for you to follow through. If you are new to Docker, I will also provide this resource, which is a good resource in teaching you what Docker is, what containers are, basics of Docker, and it will put you up to speed with what Docker is and how you can consume it on your daily activities. So as you can see, the OS requirements required for you to run Docker is Ubuntu 20.04, 22.04, 22.10. So as we had confirmed earlier, our version is 22.04, which is supported by Docker. So we'll install Docker on it and it will run successfully. Docker advises you that before running any installation, you have to clear first. Some distro providers tend to install it by default, but so you have to clear and make sure you uninstall any version that had been installed prior to your installation. Once that is done, update your machine to save the recent changes that we have made. Let me zoom in a bit for it to be clear as I wait for it to finish the update. I hope that is clear now. The updates have completed. Now let's skim through the documentation of the various methods that you can install Docker. There are three. One is installing it through the apt repository. Then the second one is installing it through the package, which is, for in our case, since we are using Ubuntu, that would be deb. But if you are running an Arch, or Arch to be precise, that would be RPM. So, and then the next step is convenience script, which is what I like using. So we will select the convenience script. This is just a script that has been written for you by the Docker guys that runs the installation and does all the pre-configurations for you. So you have to install curl first for you to clone it to your local machine. Once curl is installed, I'll paste the command that we copied from the documentation and hit enter. Then check, you see the script has now been downloaded to our local machine. Then I will give it sufficient permissions through sudo chmod +x. Once that is done, I'll execute the scripts. There are two ways that I know of running script. One is through the bash, which is sudo sh then the script, but the method that I like using is just sudo then a period and a / then the scripts. That will also do the work for you. I tend to find this one easy. Now you have to wait for the script to run. Once the script has run, Docker will be installed successfully on your machine. Once that is done, you can skim through the documentation to check. If you don't want Docker, you can uninstall it through the commands provided below. These ones. Let me check through, still installing. Okay. You can also upgrade Docker using the convenience script. Then once that is done, I will start the Docker service. Let me show you the commands to do that. This is the command to start the service, sudo service docker start. Then we install a sample container for us to confirm if Docker is running. So I'll clear first, then start the service. So the service Docker start. The service is running successfully. Now let me install the sample container. Docker run hello world. That will install the sample container hello world. Ensure to run this command as sudo, but let me show you what happens if you don't run it with sudo. It will give you permission denied. So to do it with sudo, this is a simple shortcut to do the command that I did in previous. As you can see, it is successfully set up. It gave us an output of hello from Docker. And that will be the end of this video. If you found it informative, please subscribe, share it with your friends. See you on the next one. Stay safe. See you soon.